Alright guys, welcome back. This is our second episode of our MKAU podcast. Today we have the same people, but we have one new guest. I'm the host today, I'm Stay Space. We have...
Shaven Wookie. Oh, sorry, I have a real name outside of that. Even my work colleagues called me Shaven. For a different
Can't
reason.
see why.
Simon Hayward. Was at, I'm in and out of the scenes MKU. I help out here and there, especially at events. Just always lurking in the corner in the background.
What's your platform of choice?
Platform of choice is PC.
Master Race?
Master Race,
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No.
You can tell that I sit behind a PC all the time.
Face for radio?
Yeah, face for radio. So that's that, yep. I'll move it on.
Moving on to me, Kurt Froloff. One of the people here at MKU, clearly.
Boss man.
Well, I don't know. Depends who you ask.
Daddy. Call you Daddy.
Go by Striker 3K online. I sit behind the scenes, do a lot of behind the scenes work. And yeah, that's basically my daily life with MK.
Maddie.
Hey guys, Melican again, or Matthew, obviously, work with this lot, mostly on Xbox, so...
So I thought we'd start off today with discussing what MKU's been up to in the last 2 weeks since our last podcast.
Actually,
anyone wanna start?
I want to jump in.
Yeah.
Before we get onto that stuff, something I was reading in the news this week, I just wanted to bring up and get everybody's thoughts on and throw it out to the masses. The World Health Organization has now realized or
Determined
that video game addiction is a thing, and it will be brought in. A treatment or some sort of plan for it will be brought in their next, I guess, get together or whatever they do in 2022.
Yep.
And I mean, some of the comments and whatnot in regards to that I read online, it was mixed. What do we think?
Mixed reviews.
Mixed comments.
Yeah. I always heard stories from China about video game addiction, how there's actually rehab clinics there. Because there was a lot of WoW players who used to play it constantly. You'd hear horror stories, to be confirmed kind of stuff. Parents neglecting their children because of it. That's like extreme. People leaving buckets right next to their seats so they can keep on playing.
Poo buckets?
Well, wasn't there? I mean, in saying that, wasn't there that girl? What was she? 12, 13 or something, and she would sit on a chair playing Fortnite. And she wouldn't leave. And she would literally sit there and wet herself and poo herself, and just because she didn't want to leave the game.
There was a guy in Korea that played StarCraft for like 50 hours straight, and he got up from his chair and had a heart attack. So it is real. It is a real addiction.
Anything can be addiction.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's to classify it as that it's like saying chocolate's an addiction to some extent. I don't know, but that's really not the point. It's because video games do mean a lot to other people, and to make it classified as an addiction is possibly just giving more light onto the video game.
The problem is, anything excessively is an addiction, but I find there's so many good qualities to gaming. Like, I know I come home from work and it's such a release to go on and play a game that I've been waiting to play all day, because it brings me out of that. Because my job is very intense, it actually stops me from thinking about work for a while. So it has its good and its bad sides.
Yeah, because of the spectrum, the last couple of years, the video games have been promoting it that actually helps mental health. Now to say that it's actually a mental hindrance is a bit,
Well, I mean, you only got to look at poker machines, don't you?
Yeah.
They're computer games, but you're playing for real money. And then that being said, you got Fortnite where you pay real money for, there's... So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there and see what everyone's thoughts were, and
Well, that's a topic.
Yeah, that's
come
probably
up, so that's good.
like a good debate topic that we'll probably do. And,
Well, they also, a lot of articles aim at kids, but like my example was a grown man.
Yeah.
He'd spend 50 hours in a cafe because certain countries ban certain games, so they would go to the cafe, play the game, and he just killed over from a heart attack.
There's people in Japan where basically they live in internet cafes and they just literally...
They work to game.
Yeah.
Like, they go to work just to spend all their money in gaming cafes. So it's not just geared at children, which worries me.
Yeah. Anyway, so on that happy note...
No.
Yay,
Still a relevant issue this week. So does anyone want to start? What have you been playing this week, Maddie?
Well, lately I've been playing a little bit of Observation. You guys will actually see the review on the website. Basically, it's a space-based game. It's a little bit of a psychological sort of thriller. It's really good in that it's very good at increasing your anxiety levels.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I
we
love
need.
those games.
I hate those sort of games.
So you'll be...
This is the only reason why I hold a bucket next to my
No, you'll be playing the game and like you're always expecting something big and bad to happen, but because the music levels and just the general ambience of the game, you're just like, okay, what's going to happen? And anxiety is probably a bad word for it, but it keeps you wanting to play it and find out what's actually going to happen. You want to find something that you're expecting to happen.
Yeah, I never finished Alien Isolation because of the anxiety.
I never played that. I
see, I don't review those games. You guys.
I never finished it. I couldn't get through it. Yeah.
Stace is a sook.
I am a sook. I hate anxiety-inducing games. That was the worst way to describe it. Now I know to avoid it.
Mine's with Fear, the game, the first-person shooter.
Yeah.
And that always brought in, because of the horror concept of it, and X-Men, they break it up with the whole action. But then when it does go to horror, it gives you something that you're going to expect, because there were a few horror tropes in there, but then they would flip it on you and go, oh, no, it isn't. And then next minute, it just hits you again. So
busy week, Kurt. Have you played anything this week?
No. Well...
It's been too busy doing MK stuff.
Well, I've had 2 interviews this week for Supernova.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, this week I interviewed Bryce Pappenbrook. I hope I pronounced that right.
Sorry if he hasn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, amongst other things, he is the voice actor of, Adrian Agreste and Cat Noir in...
Oh, Cat Noir.
I love... look, I mean, I don't know, I had a fanboy moment. I watched Ladybug and Cat Noir with the kids.
Where are they?
Yeah.
your inner weeb just comes out.
So there was Bryce, and then there was Shannon McCormick. Shannon? Yeah, that was right, I hope. So I had those 2 interviews. This week I got another one next week, which if I'm more prepared, I'd know who that was. So that's pretty much my week. I mean, playing games.
Where can they find those interviews?
Podcast.
Yep.
I've been adding those interviews, and I'll also, as time goes by, I'll be throwing up the older interviews that I've done over the past.
Quite a few Overwatch characters.
Yeah, like Carolina Ravassa and that sort of thing. So they will be popping up, but I'm just not flooding it with everything as yet. That's probably the best place to find them. That's where all those interviews from this point forth will be going. Easy access to the masses. Playing games is really... Yeah, I need time for that. So, still, trying to get everything done on the website. So,
Simon?
I've just been playing a bit of Escape from Tarkov, old fan favourite, and checking out a bit of the World War 3, which is out on Steam, and I plan to get into Rage 2. Really love the first one. Want to get into the second one, just haven't had time to. At the moment, very busy with work, but also looking forward to E3 because right afterwards they're going to release hopefully Doom Eternal and I forgot the other one, but yeah.
He's under pressure, guys. Sorry.
He is, yeah. This is his first podcast. Give him a bit of slack. So, speaking of Rage 2, I've been playing Rage 2 for the last 2 weeks. My review's on MKAUgaming.com. Go read my full review if you want. It's a really good game. The combat is amazing. It's kind of a mix for me between like Bulletstorm, Doom, and very much Mad Max, which is really cool. The driving's really, really good. I was really lucky this week to be able to review a Razer Black Widow mechanical keyboard, which was really cool because it's a really long keyboard, and I always use a really short one without the extra buttons on the side. So it was nice to go back to a full-blown keyboard. So yeah, you can read that as well. It's on the website. I've also been playing a little Switch game called My Lovely Daughter.
I wish I had one of them.
Yeah.
I have a daughter, but
children. It's actually, you probably wouldn't want this game because it's really quite twisted and dark. It's not under NDA, so I can kind of explain it a bit. So you have a child, and she's kind of comatose in bed, and you've got to build these spiritual characters and then kill them to restore her soul. So it even has a warning at the start that the content's quite full on, and that's not really a child probably content safe for children. But yeah, it's really twisted, but the artwork is gorgeous, so I can't wait to write my review for that. So that'll be on the website soon as well. But yeah, this is our E3 edition of our podcast. We were talking before the podcast. We thought it was really interesting that Sony aren't even appearing at all this year. Mm-hmm. And EA have also recently stated that they're appearing, but they're not doing a showcase. So how do we feel about that? Anyone want to comment on that?
EA mainly just pumps out either Battlefield or crap loads of, games on sports, so I'm not really fussed there.
Yeah, no, I can honestly say I'm not too fussed on it either. Like, announcing a new sport game every year when the last one was basically the same thing. The only thing that might change is like your team's roster, or they might change one tiny little mechanic in the game. It's like, well, what's the point? Yeah. Why make it some big announcement when it's just the same thing as what came out last year?
See, I think it's a microtransaction. We need to pay to see the showcase. That's what I'm thinking.
That's really smart.
I'm probably going to annoy a lot of people by saying that, but I mean,
sorry, EA.
Sorry, EA, but let's be real. I mean, look, I'm not fussed with it. I mean, they haven't. I don't think they've done a great deal that's been groundbreaking in a while.
It might just be a fact that they might not have anything.
May not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little worried because, if developers keep pulling out of things like this, we all saw what happened to EB Expo in Australia. Less and less developers were coming, and then they joined it with PAX because they weren't getting enough people interested in it. Yeah. Is it a bad sign for E3? I don't know what the future holds, but...
Well, yeah, it's always
interesting.
E3's always been...
It is a worry.
It's always been for people in the industry, and then they open it up for the people. So it's,
I don't know what...
But E3 in itself is quite large anyway. EA is quite a big developer, like a big
Sony,
publisher. And Sony's very massive as well. And for them to pull out, unless we know the reasons why, who knows? Maybe they're holding on to announcements for bigger and better. But,
they just want all the attention through the year, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, not being there or being there only in, I guess, a small, without the showcase there for EA, maybe that's their way of drawing more attention to themselves. Yeah. It's been done before. If a big
name drop halfway through the year, then all the media will be just on them.
See what they have.
Yeah. It's the game of cat and mouse.
Go away, helicopter. Sorry.
Yeah, so because it's such a big event, what are we most excited for at E3? Does anyone want to start?
Oh, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. That's the first dot point on my list.
Cyberpunk is my big one. Besides Doom Eternal, but it's all stuff that I've already seen, and I know I've played Doom. I know what Doom looks like. Just released it already.
He's a Doom connoisseur.
Yes. Anything first-person shooter. Besides that, I really look forward to things that are coming out of left field. A game that's only going to be announced. There's no talk to it behind it. Before they're just going to show it, and it's just going to be like, oh my god, we didn't even know we wanted this kind of thing. That's what I'm looking hopeful for.
I'll agree with you on Cyberpunk. because when CD Projekt Red brought out Witcher 3,
Yes.
that was my game of the year, I think 2016. It was just amazing. I played the story. Every night I would come home from work and play like 4 hours of the story, and I got the story finished in like a week.
I really got the shits with that frog.
Yeah.
That really annoyed the hell out of me.
Like the baby frog-looking thing.
No, that boss frog.
Is that
the
the
boss?
that's-
Yeah, I know
Is that
which
the
one.
DLC?
I think
in
it
one
was
of the
DLC. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of the first bosses you'd play after
Yeah, on the DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that. Look, I don't know how many times I threw the controller through the window.
Yeah.
I
I can't believe you brought that up because I remember playing Witcher 3 over and over and over again, and then the DLC drops a couple months later, so
Yeah.
you get out of the routine of playing like the certain mechanics of the game, and
Yeah.
I struggled.
There was a lot of
really hard on that
free
too.
DLC for that as well. It was really
Yeah.
good. City Pro Red
Yeah.
brought in a whole bunch of missions and extra stuff, and it was free. It just came out gradually over time.
So I couldn't so for that. I just want to know a release date because the release date's still up in the air,
Yeah.
and they've already released like an hour of gameplay, but
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
see more. I just want to see more.
I want to see where they're at. I want to see, I want definitely release date because all the stores are just saying it's coming out this year, but when is the important one.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying 2020 now as well. That's why I want
Yeah,
a set date. So, anyone else interested in anything at the moment?
Well, Cyberpunk, yeah.
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 But Wolfenstein, isn't that
Ooh.
young
Yeah,
blood?
yes.
Yes, definitely.
With the
Youngblood.
daughters?
That's coming out right after E3.
Yeah.
That was the other one that I was trying
So
to
see more of that would be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I agree that I want to see something I want to see somebody announce something or drop something that has just not been mentioned yet.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Completely
Yeah.
like left wing.
Bring it, yeah.
If you know what's going to come out and you get little hints and bits, like Death Stranding when they just showed off the latest trailer for that, you're like, yeah, okay, well, they announced it last year. That's nice. We'll get a release date. That's going through the motions. But to get something, that's the point of E3, to get something that isn't shown yet.
Yeah.
And that's what
Because everything's
draws
rumours
us
at
to
the
it.
moment. That's what people are getting excited for. But I want something completely unknown.
Yeah.
You know?
And something that pushes the boundaries of the gaming industry. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I'm probably clutching at straws, but to me it feels like the whole gaming industry is starting to stagnate a little.
It is.
It's going through trends.
That's going to be a topic I'm going to talk about later. But yes, you're right. Anything else, Matty?
Even though they're not having a proper panel as such, I'm actually a little bit excited to hear just anything else about Fallen Order, the new Star Wars game.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
Because they're sort of going back to their roots with like Jedi Academy and all that sort of stuff. So I'm a little bit more
didn't think
excited
about
for that. Because love Star Wars and absolutely love the Jedi Academy games. I love Star Wars story-driven games.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate the original Battlefronts on like PS2. They were cool.
Yeah.
But the Battlefronts that have come out within the last couple of years are just absolute trash.
Going back to what Kurt was saying, like just riddled with microtransactions
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the get-go.
But that was
Ruined it.
the...
But, typical EA.
Yeah.
Well, last year the trend was Battle Royales. It was just
Yeah,
Battle Royale, there's
yeah.
Battle Royale there.
Yeah.
But whatever was big last year, such as the last Kratos game, shows that good story, single-player driven game
It's what people
is
want.
what people want. So I think this year they're going to start bringing out a lot more single-player driven games.
Yeah, God of War was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
In
Well,
my
speaking on that, there's a new one called The Outer Worlds coming out by Obsidian.
Obsidian,
And that,
creators of the original Fallout.
That
yes.
looks
That was
good.
the other one. That was another one.
That
looks
was
so open
I think
world.
I think that's the one I was thinking that Bethesda game you were talking about.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
Outer
that's what I was
Yeah.
mixing it up with because they did New Vegas, didn't they?
Well,
Yes,
but
yes.
I was looking at a trailer today, doing my research, and I wouldn't have put those quotes on there, but they said, from the writers of Fallout.
Fallout.
And then underneath, it quickly wrote, and from the writers of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
As if to cover.
Yeah, but that
Previous.
does look pretty awesome.
Well, when you talk about
Indiscretions.
Fallout, a lot of Fallout fans would either go with different types of Fallout fans would go Fallout New Vegas was the best one. But then you get the other types that go, oh no, Fallout 3 and 4 were great because you could build settlements and all that kind of stuff. And then you get the 76 fans, which I haven't found.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
There'll be a small pocket somewhere.
There
Still
is-
defending.
I did enjoy
Still
the
defending.
game. I did enjoy the game.
love Bethesda.
For the time being.
I
There
can't
is
defend that.
there is a review for Fallout 76 on the website as well. I wrote that one. I kind of regret what I said in it now because it is like the more updates and stuff that I've seen, it's just gone to hell. It's like I've had that many issues getting into the game, stupid load times, obscene amounts of lag, and I've got decent internet, and there's never anyone on there now. So I feel like I need to redo my Fallout 76.
I gave my extra
Reviews.
Well,
copies
that's the
away.
beauty of reviews. You can, like, when I wrote my Rage 2 review, like, I was blown away by the colours and the graphics. And then I wrote my review, and then I reflected on it a little bit and said, can I drop my score down a tiny bit? Because the story was a little bit lackluster towards the end.
Well, that's the thing. It's
FYI, it was 4 out of 5 at the time of review, Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Probably
you could
about
always,
2.
You could always do a second review for it. Just
Yeah,
come back with a
updated.
update review.
They've got a couple of little updates that they've done, so
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we'll see if they do drop any DLC for it, and I might sort of redo it then.
Well, yeah, talk about that. We'll say that before. I was saying that before that. I reckon if for Bethesda this year, they might drop like Fallout 76, either make it free. That was the big rumour last year.
Bethesda have got a lot of,
Making
I
it
suppose,
to do.
lot of
explaining
fixing
to
to
do
do.
on stage this year, which will be interesting to
Yeah.
watch.
And I reckon if they do release a DLC for it, they'll make Fallout 76 free, but the DLC you'll pay for. Because they can easily make up money from their store.
Yeah.
But their store is charging, like,
Oh,
I was
ridiculous
watching a video,
amounts.
like,
Yeah.
$4.50 for just an emote,
Yeah.
you know,
But
for your character.
that's a lot of like online stores these days.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to buy loot crates, well, it's the same category.
Look, the only way the likes of Fortnite get away with that sort of thing is because the game is free.
Yeah.
So, well, unless you buy it on the Microsoft store, isn't it?
So what I'm kind of looking forward to, which is bizarre because I'm not too much of a PC gamer because they do a lot of PC games, but they also do a lot of, well, they've done a lot of Switch games, which I started doing last year, is Digital Devolver. Their showcases are always as if they're on acid, or they come on stage and they'll blow stuff up and swear and they don't care.
Yeah.
And I've played 2 games on the Switch last year. Actually, one last year, one this year. I played a game called Ape Out, which was really awesome.
Yeah. That looked nuts.
It was
That was-
insane.
yeah, looks-
Kurt, it was insane.
yeah.
So it has jazz records in the background, and you're an ape, and you've got to get out of the science research center, and you've got to literally destroy the scientists around you, and it's literally just a puzzler.
I was watching you play that over your shoulder a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago,
yeah.
and it looked like fun.
Yeah, on my birthday. And I played another one last year called We Are Not the Heroes. And you play as like little gangster characters and you platform and you shoot all these enemies. And they're just simple games, but they're so violent. But they're so good.
I
they're
think
so
I
good.
played one last year as well. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
They had something like
It was like a isometric shooter.
I Am
kind of
Jeff.
thing.
They had a
No,
really
no.
weird game, something like that, like the name of the character. But their showcases are always so weird.
Well, it reflects their games at the release.
Yeah.
It's
They're very indie.
yeah,
They're just-
but they
so
embrace
down.
it. They embrace it so much, and it's like it looks like a fun company to work at.
Yep.
And of all the games they release, it looks, it just so well fits what they are.
They're very much us, really. They're very loud, violent, blood-splattered, quirky, bright and colourful. Like, their games are just... They're on acid. Like, they're just great, though.
You're saying you're on acid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharing's
Gotta keep
caring,
my life,
Stace.
gotta keep
Sharing
my
is
life
caring.
interesting.
By
Kurt,
the
do
way,
you have
I
any?
spiked all your drinks.
Yes.
That's why I'm here.
Anyone want to add? Anything else they're looking forward to?
Yeah, Outer Worlds. That was another one. But yeah, like I said, I'm going back to my original case. Is I want to see something that is completely unexpected, coming out from the left field, and something that just been holding in their like deep pocket, just gonna pull out and go, take my money.
This is the year of the RPG, I hope. This is my hopes. The year of the RPG. Alright. Do you have any, Kurt, that you want to add? Or we
Not
pretty much
really.
covered all bases?
I mean, look, yeah, like we said, just want to see something drop, something massive,
Something new.
Yeah,
something new,
Well,
something.
we've had enough sequels. The Last has
And
gone
reboots.
and reboot. Yeah,
Well, that's on my list later. That's on my other list. Alright, what do we think has probably been too overhyped that you're sick of hearing about? Do you want me to? I'll start.
You
if
can
you want.
start that one.
Because I know this one's gonna... When Dale listens to this from MKAU, he's gonna hate it. I am sick of seeing the Halo trailer for Halo Infinite. I love Halo. I've always loved Halo. However, it looks like all the other Halo games so far from the trailer, just with better graphics. Unless it's got a really awesome story and I actually see some gameplay from this E3, I'm kind of sick of seeing it.
I feel like it probably won't have much of a story. It'll be, once again, there's another Halo, you're fighting the Covenant, and
You're
it's
fighting something.
then you got the Flood, and then you got this, and then you got that, and then the Halo explodes,
It needs
and you're
new
off into
enemies.
space again.
You're right. It needs new enemies, or I'm not gonna be that excited to go buy it.
If it's like the last one, then I'll go check it out, and then they've started on a new IP. That'd be great. Because if you start dragging a dead horse too long, you're just going to end up with the rope that you've dragged the dead horse with. I do agree with the Halo. I've always enjoyed it. I do have my fondness of playing 4-player on the Xbox back in the day, versing each other. But
Halo's revolutionary.
Yeah,
It's still in my
and I'm
heart,
happy that they're
revolutionary.
bringing
I'm just
out
not-
Halo on PC as well. So that's race.
Yeah. I'm just not as excited as I thought it'd be, and I hate that I'm going to say this, but because I'm kind of hypocritical because he was one of my favourite characters last week. But this is probably why I'm not excited. Is Gears of War 5. Because it's Kate. Kate's supposed to be the main character, and I'm not super excited about that.
Yeah,
I like Marcus. I'm a Marcus fan.
Yeah, Marcus. Without
And
a
even
doubt.
though he wasn't the main character, at least it was his son in the last one.
Nice one, yeah.
So I am excited for it. Probably not as much as Halo. Like Halo, I'm just, but I'm a little bit anxious about Gears because.
Yeah. Well, originally my choice was going to be Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It was going to be Call of Duty because I'm thinking
Before this week's drop.
Before
announcement.
this week's drop. That's
Before this
what
week's
changed my
announcement.
mind. Saw the latest trailer and I'm just like, shut up and take my money. So that's what I like. That's what I want to see from E3 is where they completely change my mind.
So you're excited, but you're a little bit.
I'm excited because it does bring back
little
feels
bit anxious.
of when I played Modern Warfare because and there is a bit of controversy behind it as well. Especially the last time they brought some controversy is when they had the No Russian mission, and it by the looks of it, from what I've heard, they're going to have some really shock and awe kind of moments in the new Call of Duty. Bring it more modern day setting, more political, but it doesn't mean, it can't be, enjoyable as the game. Yeah. And I think they are going to focus a little bit more because they bring back single player, and that's what I love about Call of Duty.
I'm a single player fan.
Yeah.
I mean, mainly because I can just play it at my own pace.
Yeah.
I don't have time for anything else really, but yeah, Modern Warfare, dead set, I saw the new trailer and I was like, I just can't wait. It's one of the first CODs I've been excited for in quite some time.
Yeah, same.
So,
like I played Blackout. Don't get me wrong, I jumped on the Battle Royale, hype as like anyone else. I was disappointed that there was no single player. That was the only, reason I played the other CODs because of the storyline. Now I thought it was just going to be dragging a dead horse. Now they've revived it, and I'm like, okay, sweet, take my money.
Anything else? Anyone overhyped? Sick of seeing?
Don't know about overhyped or sick of seeing, but what about Bethesda and their Elder Scrolls 6 again?
Well, they didn't show that much last year.
No, that's what I mean. Again,
Researching on the tablet is awesome. On the fly. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like Sony for how many years.
I have all these notes that I do, and then I'm like, they don't work for me.
Fair enough.
So
but like this, what you're researching now, it just kind of reminds me of Sony a couple of years ago when they just kept announcing Spider-Man all the time. They just kept doing it. Every year it was Spider-Man's coming, Spider-Man's coming.
That's what I mean.
And don't get me wrong, like it finally came out, and I never played it. You said it was a great game.
Yeah, it was.
I never played it, but why did they need to announce it every year until they released it?
I was like that last year with Kingdom Hearts. I was kind of sick of seeing it. It was like showcased like maybe 4 or 5 times that weekend. Yeah.
I think that's the thing that I'm least looking forward to is just watching which companies are gonna do exactly what Bethesda's done and go, oh, we're still working on this game, it's coming, we've got this awesome hype for it.
I'd rather them keep on working on a game and actually put some effort into it, rather than just go announce it and release it a couple of months ago broken. 76. So,
Yeah, 'cause
sorry,
that,
Bethesda.
Broken.
I really do
that
love your
trailer
stuff.
for the new Elder Scrolls was like a 6-second thing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was just
Image on the screen. Yeah. That
It,
scares me.
it was yeah, it was just to give a teaser. That's all it was. It was just to bring the hype into it. And, we'll
And
see.
you got to be careful with hype.
Yep.
You've
We
got,
talked about that last week, hey, I think. Overhype. What do we not want to see? What sort of, not games, but what sort of, mechanics or gimmicks do you not want to see? We talked about this a little bit before. I don't want to see any more Battle Royale. I'm done with Battle Royale. If there is Battle Royale this year, I will literally just skip that part of the video. I'm just sick of Battle Royale games. Anything you're sick of seeing? In that
Yeah,
department? I have a whole list I could go for.
I wouldn't say battle royale, but multiplayer games. I do enjoy multiplayer games. There's a time and a place for it, but I want to go back to the single player story driven games, and it's just because when you jump on to the hype of a multiplayer game, you play it. Everyone's playing it, but then a month later, it's just, for example, like Division. You're going, all right, let's get back into this. They're gonna have an 8-player raid. And it's just, guys, where are you, guys? And it's just, you just can't do it by yourself.
Even us at MKAU, we had a huge issue with that because we were all gearing up for the raids, and none of us were high enough levels. And yeah, there's online communities. That's what I love about Xbox. You can literally click a button and look for people looking for people, people to join them. But you want to play with your friends.
Yeah, exactly. And if everyone's moved on to another game, what's the point of playing a multiplayer game? And that's, I kind of get sick of that where, good single player game, you can just do it at your own pace, and it doesn't matter if you pick it up a month later, after the hype's gone down, you can just keep playing it. And, you play it for the story and the enjoyment of the game, the gameplay mechanics, and, I'm kind of sick of multiplayer. It's because when I do pick it up a month later, after the hype's over, no one's playing it.
Yeah, there's no longevity.
Yeah, exactly. And, I want games that they have longevity. And, like you said, RPG games, longevity for years.
Yeah.
Well, I'll still occasionally pick up Fallout 4 and just play that because, it's a good game and there's so much stuff you can do in it.
Not just that, you've got mods for the game as well,
Yeah, well,
which
too,
increases longevity. And having games with mod support is really important as well. Having the community back it, that gives it the longevity rather than just having, here's a game, the only reason you're going to have extra stuff is you're going to fork out money for DLCs. And it gives a little bit of longevity, flogs the dead horse a bit, but then afterwards it's just, where's everyone? Just moved on.
Yeah, give me Skyrim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mods and just
everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yep, vanilla mods. I'll keep going back to Skyrim forever.
Yeah.
I also wrote down that I'm not too keen on seeing mobile games loaded with microtransactions. We all saw the Diablo.
Why?
Was it Diablo?
Don't you all have a mobile phone?
The Diablo fiasco that was earlier in the year, but I remember even last year's how
Everyone was expecting another Diablo.
Yep.
And it's just a mobile game?
Yep, and the command they had a Command and Conquer.
Yeah,
Everyone was excited for Command and Conquer showcase, and then they brought out 2 people and they tried to cast it like it was a tournament, but it was just a mobile game. So I'm not excited to see any.
Honestly,
in
anything mobile, look, mobile games have a place, but they're not.
They do. You're right.
They're not.
But it's not a.
It's not a serious game. I'm sorry for everyone out there that plays mobile games as a serious thing. I just don't think you can. I really don't think you can. It's a mobile game is meant for when you got time to kill, when you're waiting for something or on a train or whatever, on a bus.
It's the next scale down from you've got your casual console players. Next after that, you've got your casual mobile phone players, and that's it. You're not going to seriously do it. People have got lives outside of it. That if you're going to be stuck in your mobile, I don't know. I don't see the point.
No.
Well, I'm a little bit hypocritical because they did announce last E3, Bethesda announced their Elder Scrolls Blades online mobile game.
I played a bit.
So I did I pre-ordered it, downloaded it. They wanted a login with a Bethesda Net account, so that annoyed me the first step. So I did all that, logged in, and then like you can buy chests on it, and that's when I'm like, nah, uninstall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and as you say, the login. Stop it, everyone.
yeah, we don't need logins.
No,
Third parties. Just
honestly, you go play on an Xbox. Download a game on Xbox. Digital now, obviously. You wait 50 gig download, and to play the game, you have to sign into their
Ubisoft account, or
Yeah.
something like that.
whatever it may
Play.
be.
Yep.
And it's like, no, just use. Microsoft. Sony. Microsoft have an awesome platform there with the Xbox. They're live. It transfers from Xbox to Xbox to PC with ease, to phone with ease, even to Switch now. They're moving it across to that. Like your Xbox Live is it's a cut down version on the Switch. You don't need to sign into Uplay or some stupid thing like that.
They just want their hand in the cookie.
For the young people listening, when we used the game, you never had to do it. You just played.
You just
the
turn
game.
the console on and away you go.
Just played the damn game.
Yeah,
Turn
same
the
with
console
PC.
on,
You had
yeah.
Steam, or even if before that, you just put the CD in or just install the game, and that was it. You direct straight to the game.
And for those other young people listening, we used to literally turn the console on, and the game was there. You didn't have to install
Download
it.
Yeah.
Put in a disc, install it, and then have a 8 gig patch for day one, or and if there was bugs in the game, they were there for good.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, no constant uploads, downloads, patches, or anything like that.
No.
The game released on when it was released. That was it.
Yeah, back in my day.
Yeah.
Another thing I wrote down is I'm not super stoked with the announcement of new consoles at E3. I'd rather wait for keynotes during the year for that. I'm not a fan of the console battle
Wait, what's your
mentality.
What's your take on the xCloud though? On streaming service for Xbox.
Well, I think our internet's pretty shit, so good luck with that.
Yeah. Australia's not the right place for that at all.
No.
And Microsoft
ready.
were peddling this crap with the original Xbox One. They're
Online
not so
only.
much the streaming side, but the cloud power for the Xbox One. Oh, it doesn't have to be as powerful as a PS4 because we can use the power of the cloud. No, not in Australia. You can't. We don't. We got the power of a bloody turtle in Australia.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was the animal I was in Australia.
We live in Australia where
Snail-
everything is
snail
trying
power.
to kill you, including our internet.
Yes. Lag kills.
I'm going to drop some teacher alliteration. I'm also don't want to see a lot this year of remakes, remasters, reboots.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. That's probably my thing as well.
And Kurt brought that up earlier. I'm over remasters, remakes, and reboots.
I do have some exceptions to that.
I want to see sequels, but
there was the Dino Crisis because how successful Resident Evil was. They're going to bring back classics like Dino Crisis, which I'm like, well, that will look good. And I don't mind if they bring back anything old, like maybe a Half-Life 3.
we did talk about this, and Simon is actually excited for some remakes and some remasters.
It's some games do need to be brought back, like especially old school games. Not because you'd have to go to websites, download special mods, try and get a HD version of something, and then just redo it. And like old classic games that just need to be redone, or at least sequels to those ones.
Command and Conquer Generals.
Yes, exactly.
I would kill for that. I mean, okay, you say remaster. I'm not remaster. Maybe a remake or a ground up, but
updated version.
Give me Generals as it was. But
not a mobile version.
No,
not a mobile.
But just I guess
it did bring back the feels of seeing a mobile version. Go, oh, okay, but then seeing the setup for it, and I'm like, ugh. And I'm just thinking, well, if you can do that, why not just bring Command and Conquer back and Red Alert?
Yeah, Red Alert. Yeah.
So I don't have issues with remasters or anything. I just don't think they have a place at E3.
Yeah.
E3 is for new. Or
big announcements, and I'm sorry, remastering a game is not a big announcement.
No, that's something you post. Yeah. That's something you throw in our email inbox and we post it on our site.
Yeah. I appreciate them because Shadows of Colossus remaster was amazing because I never got to play the original.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine playing the original because the remaster was so gorgeous. but I just don't. Yeah, like I'm sick of seeing Final Fantasy remastered.
You would
or
say that
rebooted
now,
or,
but then
you know?
what happens if they brought out all the old Elder Scrolls remastered?
But I already have all the originals, and I appreciate them for what they are.
It's always like,
But I would hate that, like, if they'd spent like half an hour showing that, and I'm like, God damn, you could have shown me something new. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was going back to before, if they showed something new. But I wouldn't mind if they redid some old classics, like Command & Conquer, Red Alert.
Like Battletoads.
From
last E3 was like, oh my god!
Yeah.
But,
and if they redid some older games that kind of not struggle now, but just look really dated, and then they brought them back, like classic Elder Scrolls or something
Final
like that.
Fantasy 7.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, episodic.
I mean, this is my, I guess, a personal preference, and a lot of people might hate it, but Mass Effects, I'd like to see some of the older ones. I still play Mass Effect, and you go from, Andromeda, I don't know if that counts, but,
It's in canon.
But that being said, you go back to number 1, and you can see how dated it is. Still a great game to play. I still love it. I still love the choice-based system, all that.
Cat appreciates it for what it is.
And look, I do. I love the game. But yeah, it just...
See, I'd rather prequels or sequels,
Yeah,
Even
well,
though
Andromeda
wasn't
prequel, kind of.
I'd rather see that though. Anyone else got anything? I kind of just don't
I think
really want to see.
Well, it's again
Sports
for
games.
me. Well, yeah, sports games. I'm sick of sports games.
Yeah, sports games.
There's no point re-announcing something that you did last year, the year before that, the year before that. They're
FIFA.
not adding. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're not adding anything new to the game.
Which the public is going to know is coming out anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They're just going to go.
Well,
Yeah,
at least
again.
FIFA fans know it's like, all right, another one's going to get released. We're just going to get an update of the last,
Yeah.
full release.
I mean, effectively, it could be DLC every year. Couldn't
Yeah,
it?
well, that's
seriously.
They just change the roster every year. That's all they need to do for the game. Like, yeah, okay, they added one additional thing with FIFA 19 compared to like 18, 17, and so on, but it was basically the same game. So
a lot of game companies kind of did that. They did that for Fallout for a while. After 3, it was like 3 looked just like 4, and then 4 just looked like, and then 76 looked just like 4, and then it just
you can't compare 76 to 4. I'm sorry.
It
76 is
very
crap.
much like 4.
It looks like
except
Fight.
they just made it into a multiplayer, which is which does not work. In the sense of if you're making a game that was single player and try and take the same engine, make it multiplayer, like I could get debate with like Star Citizen. It's where, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I feel like Fallout 4 could work only because there's NPCs you can actually interact with.
Yeah, that was a big gripe.
My eyes are glassing over.
Yeah, Stacey's just like, I'm out.
I'm like, I've never been a big Fallout person, which is blasphemy.
I honestly haven't either. I got to admit,
person.
I'm a huge Fallout fan. And I was like excited for 76, and I played the mobile game, and that was the only mobile game ever that I was really like, yes, this is actually fun because it's always what
I play Angry Birds.
Yeah, Angry Birds.
AR is actually quite good, I'll admit. Angry Birds AR.
But
I digress.
Besides that, I'm a huge Fallout fan. I played 76 a bit, and I was kind of like, yay, but then just the hype came over because it was a multiplayer game, and I didn't want to keep playing it because it was multiplayer.
That's why my review was so good for Fallout 76, because it was, hey, this is hyped and everything, but then...
And you probably got it pre-release too, so probably less people on servers glitching it out.
Well, even with the version of the game that we got from Bethesda, I couldn't play it until release day.
Oh, okay.
So... yeah, it wasn't until release day that I actually got to play it, and there were a few more people on the server than what there are now.
Yeah, but remember on release date as well, they had that huge
It was
patch
a big download.
as well, big-ass download.
That's got to stop,
did not
too.
help.
That has got to stop.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Day 1 patches, got to stop. The last thing you want to do when you either go get your physical disc and bring it home, or if you've pre-downloaded it and on your platform of choice, if there's a day 1 patch of anything over a couple of 100 meg, stop it. Yeah. Just plain and simple, stop it. Well, release it in smaller packets or something. To go through that patch. You know, as a developer, publisher, whoever controls that, release that patch. Go through, prioritize, be done. But
Had more quality control.
I mean,
yeah,
Released it.
exactly.
What was it? Was it MKX? Was it that one had 15 gig patch on PC? That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, like stop it.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. You're not going to
these
sell
sort of
someone a
patches
car
I like.
and have one wheel missing,
Yeah.
saying, sorry, you got to get that on pickup day. It's not good policy.
No.
And like going back to old school days, it's you got what you got, and that was it. And the game should be good when on
But
release.
games were completed back then. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't. Oh crap! We've promised this. It's not done. It was. This is what our timeline is.
Yeah.
This is how long we actually need. Not let's push it out in this amount of time because everyone wants it.
Well, not just that, they're releasing games and calling it a beta or whatever else, and it's like
For a
2
whole
week.
year.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks before release date, and they expect to try and fix all the bugs in that 2 weeks as during the beta because they can get away with it calling it a beta or
Fortnite
pre-release.
still says beta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, those sorts of things.
In saying that, the only patches I like are games like Rainbow Six Siege, where they will nerf and balance guns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Buff guns and stuff.
I mean, you know, even MK11, they had to patch it to balance out those towers.
Because you get the community and they will use that one character over and over again.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
when will someone patch this?
those type of patches are fine because
Yeah.
that's refining the game
Yeah.
and realizing that developers.
That's not fixing a bug.
It's making it
as
fair.
such, is it?
Exactly. No, that's refining the game and kind of going, all right, we're listening to the player base, and if we, we'll make those changes to make them happy because they're the people that enjoy the game. Not like, all right, you can glitch through this wall and finish that, level this quick.
Speed run the game.
Yeah, that's a bug.
But
And that should have been ironed
But
out.
in saying that, I mean, we say, I hate those patches, but at the end of the day, the public are their own worst enemy. Because, you've got the publishers and developers trying to do these games, try to get them out. They do set themselves dates, which sometimes can be hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you read the horror stories from some of these, development places, but then you get the public. It might be a character that has a glitch when they talk.
Yeah.
So the public screams, "Oh, it's crap! It's crap!" Have you seen that glitch when they talk? Well, does that really affect the gameplay?
Yeah.
Does it affect the game?
Mass Effect had that issue.
Yeah, Andromeda had that
Yeah,
issue as one example. And do we care? You've got to go. Do we actually care about those problems? They can get patched later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there, I guess, there's always two sides.
Yeah, and that's why I also like the modding community. Because if a game if there's any issues with that, the modding community can always pick up the slack. And if it's open up for mods, like Fallout 4, so many mods for that game. There was Skyrim as well, so many mods, and open it up and new possibilities, and it refreshes the game and builds upon it, and it makes the game's longevity even longer. And it fixes they fix their own patches if it's able to be modded.
That's right. Yeah.
And it helps the developers move on from another project that people are jumping up down and screaming for. So
I feel like Lance is going to have a field day editing that audio file.
Yeah.
You watch it, Simon's talking, and then everyone else talks, and then Simon talks again.
Yeah. So we've
very
covered quite a lot.
Oh,
Quite
sorry,
a lot
yeah.
in E3. So my last question really is, what do you want to see in the future of E3? Anything you wish they would make? Do you want me to start? Cause I've got a list.
do that.
Yeah, I really
I'm
don't know.
going to have to have a think about it.
You guys have a think. I've got three things I kind of want to see. So I actually want to see a really good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. I've been thinking about this all day today. I'm like, this is actually a really hard question.
As long as the graphics are better than the movies.
Well,
I was about to
The
say
new
Michael
movies.
Bay
yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
Well, I did a bit of research, and most of them are like Konami arcadey
Yeah.
type ones.
Back on the SNES.
Yeah, so Lance and I went to One Up Arcade. And we were playing on that
South
quite a
Coast,
bit. We were playing Ninja Turtles. But I actually want to see a good console game, Ninja Turtles. Like, maybe something by Rocksteady, like an Arkham City type open world one. We can go above ground and
I could see that,
underground.
yeah.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
I'm like,
like
what could it be like?
Co-op. Definitely got to have co-op.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that. Like even the the Warriors, the movie. They made a game.
I love the game.
Warriors, come
Yeah, it
out
was on
and play.
PlayStation.
Like something like that, even
Yeah.
fighting open world.
Kind of like the last Spider-Man game. That was a nice open world.
Yeah.
Still had storyline in it. They could probably do that easily.
like
with all the
arcadey but
Turtles,
open world, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's one of my ideas. There's big hype about the Avengers game.
Yeah.
So my counter on that is I want to see a goddamn good Justice League game. That would make me super happy.
I'd just like to see a game based on a movie that is actually good.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about those games, you're talking about a fight style like you're in Justice or your MK or
little note underneath is like if NetherRealm dipped their toe into it with another person and made it also open world, because I like my RPGs. Open world, but with the how gorgeous were the Injustice 2 characters?
Yeah.
They were I'm not a big fighting game person, but I wanted to play it just so I could see the skins, what the characters look like. Harlequin and the Joker in that I think are amazing. Just if they had those sort of characters, but in with a storyline, like an open world storyline, kind of like Spider-Man, but with Justice League characters. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but people would just try and go, I just want to play as Batman because he's rich, Superman because he's OP.
Yeah, but there's no difference to the Avengers. Iron Man because he's rich.
Yeah.
The Hulk because he's OP.
Thor because he's,
Thor.
Yeah, God bod.
Yeah.
God bod.
So that was one of my ideas.
It made me feel good about myself.
Safe, yeah. I was like, now I have a body of a god.
Just not like the movies though, because the movies I think are just being too try hard with the darkness and stuff. Just have fun and make a fun Justice League game.
Go back to what the comics were.
Yes.
Go back to the roots.
Yeah.
This comic depending because
all the Marvel
big
boys get theirs.
Well, what about the
DC.
Batman series from the 60s, 70s?
Oh, you mean campy?
Yeah.
Very campy.
Yeah. So go back to something like that because yes, okay, DC's good and the movies are fantastic, but in my opinion, they go away from the comics and all the biff and whack and all that sort of...
You mean like old school,
see, I don't want campy, I want Justice League.
No.
I want Justice League
depending on what type of runs of comics, we can get into a big
very NetherRealm.
There was some really dark comics out there, and if you're going to say comics, then you can get...
Go back to original sort of thing, not like your dark stuff, but
you mean like 90s kind of, because that was a bit everywhere, but it was still kind of like 90s and
I guess
it's like,
I guess probably easiest way to describe it in terms of movies would be like Tim Burton's Batman.
That's still dark though.
It is,
but dark.
I would like that even as a game.
Yeah, like the Tim Burton's Batman.
It's campy,
movies.
but it's also kind of serious.
Yeah.
Bat nipples.
So just gonna have it.
George Clooney.
Poor George Clooney.
I was about to say,
Batman
you're just gonna have
I'm down for bat nipples if it's in a game.
It'll be a special skin.
Well, that's just sexist.
Yeah, but look how awesome the Arkham games are.
Well, I was about to say that they haven't
But
released
can
an
you imagine that
Arkham
with
game
just
in years.
all of them? It would be awesome. I think it would be awesome.
Can we throw some X-Men in there too?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I would like some X-Men.
Even a good
in there.
X-Men game would
game,
be good.
Yeah.
Capcom would try and do that.
Yeah.
Butcher it.
Wouldn't be the first time. It's alright.
Yeah.
It's easy to sit here and judge, I guess.
That's if they can get the rights off Marvel.
Well, it's kind of our job anyway, so...
Alright, my last idea for a game was this is going to be so cliche, but I want a Game of Thrones game because of the series just finished. And George R. Martin's in works with a game studio at the moment, but apparently he's in works with they're working on a Nordic theme, so it doesn't sound like it's going to be a Game of Thrones game. But I want a Dark Souls
Vikings
type Game of Thrones game.
I was going to say, there
from
is...
Soft,
it's on mobile. You can play Game of Thrones on mobile.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was the Telltale ones, the choose your own adventure ones.
But I want a really hard Dark Souls, Bloodborne, serious combat. I don't even play those sort of games, but I would watch them.
You mean God of War type?
Yeah. Gritty and just dirty and a good story, but really hard combat. I would like to see that. Has anyone else got any ideas? Because I've monopolized this section. Any games you want to see? Any sequels?
Oh yeah. Half-Life.
We
3.
kind of talked about it before. Yeah, Half-Life 3
Portal
would
3.
be good.
Portal was classic. I was playing a bit of that.
Portal
also
was
not
just
too long
one of
ago.
those games. You just sit there and it was just it worked your
Enjoyable.
brain with.
It did. It was a nice brain, and it had a
There was-
good storyline to it as well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Portal 3. I could get down with that.
Yeah, I can get
Yeah.
down with Portal 3. Yeah.
Well, it would be so awesome if Valve just came out and surprised everyone.
Just
What's
out
that
of the
mean?
blue, it's
I
like,
want
here's
a
the game.
surprise. I want a surprise.
Can you imagine that? That
Like-
would blow the audience's mind.
Yeah, it's not that I say I want this game. It's I really want to see at E3 a game that I did not know what I wanted. That I didn't know that I needed or wanted, and I'll just
Yeah, here's the
basically-
game you didn't know you needed. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And Outer Worlds was that for me last year when they announced that, and it was also with what else? Was that Rage 2 as well? I was like, oh my god, it's a sequel, but because Rage 1 wasn't really popular back then, and it was kind of a cult following. But now with the sequel, it's blown up, and it was good to actually make up for 76. But yeah, I definitely want a game that's I didn't know that I wanted for E3. Yeah.
Fair enough. Going back to our previous podcast, I would kind of like to see a new Grand Theft Auto, but I think it'd be really cool. I don't think they ever will, but I think it'd be really cool if they did one based in Australia.
Well, Microsoft did Forza in Australia.
Yeah, but this is Rockstar we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I feel like, driving through the outback and having a bunch of Aussie fellas and Sheilas.
You'd have to drive a lot
Yeah.
between districts.
Yeah. That's the open world.
But, I mean,
really big.
obviously, they'd shrink down the map and everything
Yeah.
and make it all substantially closer. But I don't know. I just like to see what Rockstar's take on Down Under's like.
Yeah.
Basically,
Well, I'd like them to do London because
Oh,
there
that'd be
was
cool.
the old PlayStation
Yeah.
spin-off game GTA London, and I'd love it if they did that because they could put all of England in a map
Oh yeah, easily.
and just
Australia just be
Shanking
Tassie.
everyone was
yeah.
nice. That's all you'd be doing.
But yeah, I'd love it
Gun
if they
laws.
did that.
Get on a plane and fly over New Zealand.
Yeah, do
But
Australia.
yeah, I don't know. It's something I've always wanted it, and I don't think they'll ever do it. But
doing a map in Australia itself.
I just think it'd be cool to see what their take on Australia is and how they might think that things are down here if they've never actually been here, and lack of guns and going and buying stuff on the black market.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like US where you just go around the corner and buy a gun.
No,
yeah.
you walk into Walmart. No, I'll take that AK, thanks.
Yeah. But GTA has always been over the top kind of thing. Where,
Yeah.
Yeah, you could easily just make that Australia. Yeah, you can just buy a gun at a convenience store. And a kangaroo.
Yeah, you ride a kangaroo. There's
Yeah.
no motorbikes,
Yeah,
just
no
ride
bikes,
kangaroos.
I don't know. It's a game people want, but I don't know if it's a game people are going to need in the end. But without Kojima, maybe
Yeah,
Metal
no,
Gear Solid. But that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I think it'd just be something, weird and wacky. Of course, I'd love something brand new and nobody else has done it before, but that's just something specifically that I'd go, that's cool, I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
And then probably, take it back and trade it in because it's rubbish.
Yeah.
But we'll
Can't
see.
imagine it working out very well.
Yeah,
but
no, I don't think
Yeah,
it would. I
yeah.
it's
think
what people want, but it's
Yeah.
in the end of it might not be what people
No.
want.
It goes in the category as it would be awesome if someone did that, but would it actually work?
would it
as a
work?
game?
Do we have
Is
it?
it Kojima?
Yeah,
Like, is it
yeah.
even Metal Gear if Kojima's not involved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Anyone got anything? I think that's it.
I think we're good.
Kurt can plug the socials this week.
Jesus. Yeah, everywhere.
Sponsored by Lance's
Yeah,
couch.
that's it. That's
Speaking
it.
of, thank you to Lance for
This setup.
supplying this little setup. Last week we were actually sitting over there just on a couch, but this week we've got this. It's all pretty.
We've got the new nerd couch.
They can't see it on the
casting
podcast,
casting
but anyway.
nerd.
Yeah, sorry, podcasters.
Sorry,
you just have to
podcasters.
find the video.
You
yeah.
gotta imagine the
And if
couch.
anyone wants to purchase any of this, I'll send you my PayPal address.
Lance won't mind.
Nah. It's no drama at all. But yeah, socials, MKAU Gaming, everywhere, pretty much. I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Podcast, obviously we're getting around everywhere there now too. So iTunes, Google Podcasts, Anchor FM. I can't even think of the rest of them now. It's,
Pretty much all of them.
You'll find us around, guys. Just
Google it.
us
Google it
for all your gaming news, reviews, and articles.
And interviews, Supernova interviews. Yes, thanks to Supernova for that as well. Much appreciated for that. Every Supernova, they give us the opportunity to interview the guys and girls that make some of this possible. So.
Guys.
Not only that, if you are at like conventions and stuff and you see these jerseys, come and say
podcast.
We're
Once again, you
more than
can't
happy.
see it. Find the video.
Yeah. Look, there'll be a photo up somewhere. But if you see us at conventions and stuff and you see these jerseys, by all means, come up and say g'day. We've usually got 2 or 3 cameras plus a video camera. More than happy to spend a little bit of time with you and have a bit of a chat. Take some photos, whatever.
We don't bite unless that's what you're into.
Yeah.
That's true. Feel free to comment in the comment sections what you want us to talk about next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.
See ya.